Hey guys, this is 236 Ruben here, and today I'll be ranking my favorite PlayStation 4 exclusives since the PS5 is right around the corner. This list was a bit tough to compile as there were just so many good PlayStation 4 exclusives that we got. So don't be insulted if it's not in my list because there's so many good ones and it's hard to compile so many in the top 5 list. So just because they're not in here doesn't mean they are not good. They're just not my favorite. So nevertheless, I'll try my best to rank my top 5 PS4 exclusives in this video. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. At number 5, we have Ghost of Tsushima, a captivating story that was well acted, great gameplay, and a very beautiful world that was amazing to explore. The story of Jin evolving into the ghost to defend Tsushima was done very well, which resulted in me being very invested in Jin and the story as it developed him very well. Some of the strong supporting cast members also helped a lot in Jin's growth as well as theirs, which was some very good storytelling to experience. The combat was also very satisfying, and I love how they combined the samurai gameplay and the assassin gameplay in a very meaningful way, which made the stealth and combat gameplay just so good. It just runs so well. Exploration was also done in a very meaningful way, which made it feel like a very unique experience. It made you feel like you were not going from checkmark to checkmark like many other games. Instead, the wind, the birds, and the foxes would lead you to your locations, which made it feel unique and rewardful since the rewards were helpful. The only problem I had was that it had just too many Inari shines for my liking, but it did not really harm my experience and I still really enjoyed the game. Overall, it's an amazing game with a good story and amazing gameplay that I would recommend to anyone who enjoys single player experiences. It is a very amazing way to close the generation of PS4 with this amazing game. In the number 4 slot, we have Spiderman PS4, another amazing game with great gameplay, a great story, and an amazing open world. This game had really good Spider-Man music and a well-constructed open world which made you feel very invested in this as it really felt like a true Spider-Man game. Combat was also very satisfying as Spider-Man was very acrobatic, which made for some really cool moves that you could come up with against your enemies. It also flowed very well, which added to the feeling of it being very well crafted. Overall, the combat is a blast. The open world is also full of stuff to do, like clearing out enemy bases, which shows off the combat system quite well. It is also filled with many worthwhile collectibles that build Spider-Man as a character very well, which gives the player the incentive to explore the game more. The swinging movement is also something that was perfected very well, and I would sometimes find myself swinging around the city just for the heck of it. The story was also very well crafted with good villains that helped set up a very interesting plot. Overall, Spider-Man PS4 is one of the best PS4 exclusives I have ever played as it gets almost everything right. I can't recommend it enough for anyone who has yet to try it. In the number 3 spot, we have Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is a really amazing game in terms of gameplay, exploration, and story. The story of Aloy and her connection with this post-apocalyptic world was very interesting and done very well, and I can't wait to find out more in the sequel. The story kept me very interested as it had very good world building and character building. The variety in the enemies was also something very amazing, and it kept combat very interesting. The robots were really one of the best things in the game, and I really had a lot of fun combating them in this game, and they also have very beautiful designs on top of that. The combat was also very well polished, and it worked well also. Most important of all, it was really fun to use this combat system as it was very satisfying to combat a wide variety of machines with wide variety of moves and tactical options to combat them. Exploration was also done very well in my opinion, as we will have to come across artifacts and things left behind by the old ones to learn more about their world. It would be something you would come across by chance in the open world, which I love as it gives you a sense of discovery as opposed to it being marked on the map. I was just so immersed with the story, the world, the characters, and the gameplay, which is why Horizon Zero Dawn is so high up on my list. It's also probably one of my favorite games of all time. In second place, we have The Last of Us Part 2. It has amazing gameplay and an amazing story. The gameplay was very satisfying, especially with the very brutal animations which made your shots have a lot of weight and impact. There was also many options you could take to approach specific combat situations due to the large amount of variety you had with the weapons. The scarcity of the ammo also made you think out your situations very carefully, which I really liked. It really made you feel immersed in this post-apocalyptic world. All these factors helped it to be a very meaningful combat system that was satisfying to use. The story was also another very strong point of this game. It concludes the story of Joel and Ellie in a sad but realistic fashion that I thought was handled well, while pushing forward the story of Ellie and the new character Abby. I also really appreciate how well Abby was written into the game, as I was not expecting to like her as much as I did later on in the game, due to some of the things she did at the start of the game that were quite questionable. Both of them also had strong supporting characters that helped bring out their character development in a very good way, which made me feel for both of their causes. Overall, this game boasts one of the strongest stories any PS4 exclusive has, while having some very satisfying gameplay in this amazing linear game that we do not get much of anymore. I like this game so much that I actually played it another time right after I finished my first playthrough, which is something I do not do with so many games, which is another reason why it is so high up on my list. I really appreciate what Naughty Dog has done with this series, and I would really recommend this to anyone who has not tried out the Last of Us games yet. My favorite PS4 exclusive of all time is God of War. This is due to many factors. It had a great story which built up the relationship of Atreus and Kratos while teaching Kratos to accept his past and move on the best he can. The Norse mythology part of this game was also done very well, which helped complement the story in a great way. I just cannot wait for the sequel as it built up so many interesting story arcs in this game. The gameplay was also very amazing, which really surprised me at first, since this game's combat is very different when compared to the previous God of War games. The Leviathan Axe was also very satisfying to use, especially when you could call it back at any time, and the impact of you receiving it and throwing it was just so satisfying. The Blades of Chaos were also so cool to use, and I'm glad they brought it back for all time's sake. The enemies were also very fun to fight, with the many options of combos you could use against them, while being careful not to hurt yourself like when fighting the Valkyries, which requires a lot of thought. Atreus was also very helpful in combat, and he got me out of very bad situations, so good job Atreus. It was also very fun to upgrade his abilities and see him grow stronger throughout the game. Overall, God of War boasts a very fun combat system to use alongside an amazing story, which I feel is better than the other games on my list, which is why it is my number 1 PS4 exclusive. It is also the only game on this list I have replayed the most, as I enjoyed the story and the combat just so much actually. If you have not tried out this game yet, I strongly urge you to. You are truly missing out if you have not tried this one out yet. So that was my top 5 PS4 exclusives. Keep in mind this is just my opinion. I would love to hear what your favorite PS4 exclusives are down in the comment section below. Also, there are many more PS4 exclusives that are worth playing, like Bloodborne, Infamous Second Son, and Uncharted 4, just to name a few. They were just not my favorite, so I guess that's about it for this video guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for my next video where I will be reviewing Jedi Fallen Order almost a year after its release. Damn, it's actually been quite a while, and I hope you like this image of Grease. Isn't he beautiful? So with that being said, this has been 2367 Ruben, signing out.